Well, I remember when I was 10 and I got what I thought was a starring role, well, not quite the starring role, obviously, in the church nativity, which evidently was a big deal. I got to be Joseph, and I thought that was pretty cool. But I remember coming back from the first rehearsal and being slightly miffed. I remember saying to my mum, he just stands there. He doesn't do anything. I was slightly sort of underwhelmed by the role. In fact, at that time, I remember making a joke about Dennis Thatcher, because at that time we had Margaret Thatcher as the Prime Minister, and her husband Dennis just used to turn up and just stand there. But I've come now to have a real appreciation for the character of Joseph. Maybe not quite so much for Dennis Thatcher, but the idea of just being there, just supporting someone, or maybe even someone else. Actually, Joseph, I think, is an amazing unsung hero in the Bible. Interestingly, whenever anyone is called to do something brave for Jesus, often they end up with somebody else, a person who comes alongside them. And Joseph, I believe, was that for Mary. Mary, rightfully, is the one who takes the central stage in that story, because obviously she's the one who said yes to yes to probably one of the biggest things God's ever asked of a human being. Yes to being the mother of God himself. But yet Joseph's there for her, and Joseph's there to bring up Jesus. And I was thinking, this reminded me a little bit of a sermon my dad preached once about Zerubbabel and Joshua the high priest. So a little bit of an obscure topic, but lots of us sometimes feel a bit like a Zerubbabel. We're the ones who run around and trying to do all these ideas, and we have, like, I don't know, 400 ideas before breakfast. We have 7 balls in the air and we want to find an 8th. You know, that's sometimes our character, and we can often feel very like we're out there. But actually, all of us who feel a bit like that probably really appreciate the sort of Joshua character or the Joseph character, the person who comes alongside. Now, I don't know what you're like. Maybe you're more of a Zerubbabel, maybe you're more of an activist. I'd like to challenge you to say maybe there's someone else you could come alongside. And maybe you think, well, I'm not really this activist, ideas, creative person, but I've got gifts and skills with administration. I've got gifts and skills with organisation. I've got gifts and skills with networking and chatting to people. I've got gifts and skills with, I don't know, knowing the local area, whatever it is. Sometimes it is being that person that's prepared not just to have our own vision, but actually to be prepared to come alongside and serve someone else's vision, to come alongside a brother or sister in Christ and say, how can I bless you? That actually we discover something amazing. So a little challenge, maybe God's calling you to do something amazing, and that's great. But maybe God's also calling you to come alongside somebody else, to be a Joseph, to be a Joshua the high priest, and to bless them. The question isn't who's going to help and support me, although that is part of the question. It's always good to look around and see who can support us. But actually maybe the other question is, who can I support? Who can I bless? Who can I pray for? Who's doing stuff and maybe they need a friend? Maybe they need a coffee. Maybe they need someone to listen and to help them. So a challenge really, not just about getting people caught up in our own ideas or being sold on our own visions, but who can I bless? And as church and as Christians, I think we often want to be the person doing the stuff, but actually sometimes we're called to be somebody that carries someone else's burdens too. As church, I think we need to learn a whole thing about, and I'm probably going to get this word wrong, about being a reciprocal people. To be people that receive blessing and allow other people to help us, which is a challenge sometimes. and also be the kind of people that are prepared to stand in the background and to bless somebody else. God might be calling you to do something amazing. He might also be calling you to quietly bless somebody else from the background in an unglamorous way that you might never get any recognition for, but could change somebody's life and enable something to happen that could be incredibly fruitful and change people's lives.